Hello and welcome to the GrapeSEED Official Podcast. I'm extra excited about today's guest, Aaron Jones. He was mentioned quite a lot in the mail carrier episode we did, number 61. He also had the unfortunate luck of having me as his coach many years ago. So welcome to the podcast, Aaron.
Thank you. I had the fortunate luck of having you as my trainer.
We'll see how that turns out, how this interview goes. So let's start with how long you've been teaching GrapeSEED and what your first impressions of the curriculum were.
All right, so I started back in September 2015. So it's been about 5.5 years. And I remember pretty much everything. The first training I went to, first time in the classroom, seeing the materials for the first time. I was really surprised about everything and also really relieved.
Okay, why so?
So much materials. The quality was really high, and looking at materials and hearing from all the trainers, it was so education driven. I was really, really happy to see something like that. That kind of before, when I was teaching at a different school, that I would need to plan about a 50-minute lesson, but they would only give me like a worksheet to work with. Like this is use this grammar point, here's some vocabulary words, plan a lesson. And I don't see myself as a very creative guy. I would definitely struggle with creating a lesson that long. But coming to GrapeSEED and seeing all the different materials, that there was so much to choose from, it was very nice for me.
That's definitely a strong point of GrapeSEED because, like you said, having to come in and make all of your own materials and also think about the educational aspect, those are really difficult things, especially with how little planning time a lot of teachers have. But with GrapeSEED, since you have all the materials ready to go, you have the cards, you have all the student take-home stuff as well, then you can focus as the teacher just on delivering the content to the best of your ability and not necessarily worried about, okay, I need to make worksheets or I need to find different art things on the internet. Like you can just basically trust in the system and it'll do it for you.
Yeah, exactly. And
perfect.
Relieved me a lot.
So favorite material and unit, what do you have?
All right, so there's so many.
Okay, strap in, everybody.
I can't choose. Yeah, so I love so many things in GrapeSEED, and I don't really want to choose just one material.
Okay.
So different materials in GrapeSEED. We have the action activities, the songs, poems, stories. So going with the easiest thing to choose, my favorite story, I've heard it from other teachers as well. It's, I think, on the podcast as well. Spider's Web.
Yep. Comes up a lot.
The Spider's Web. That I have so much fun telling that story. You've talked a lot about in depth about why Spider's Web is so much fun, and I agree with pretty much everything you've said on previous podcasts.
Thank you for listening.
I like really making voices for all the different characters, different voices for all the characteristics of the bugs. It really gets the students having a lot of enjoyment. They always laugh hearing the different voices for the first time. And then I love telling the story for the first time if the students have never heard it, and then they don't know what's going to happen. At the very end, the grasshopper jumps, the spider's ready to eat him, and it's really, they're on the edge of their seats. But then everything's okay in the end, and they get relieved. Something that also, that like personally for me, that when I was teaching GrapeSEED, I went to get a master's in education.
Wow.
And one of the aspects was to look at picture books and what are some good aspects of a picture book when choosing one for the classroom. When I was reading all the different kind of the studies about what's good qualities of picture books, that they would point out that you want inviting illustrations, that it's got to be age-appropriate content. Another big thing is repeated phrases. Personally, when I first saw picture books and like, oh, they're just using the same language over and over again. The author must be so lazy. But actually, that's a really good teaching practice, is just using the same phrase over and over and over again. And then also a good quality of a picture book is having a positive message in there. It's not just all about entertainment, but having some kind of positive, moral, social message in there. And after going over all that stuff and re-looking at the GrapeSEED stories, see, the GrapeSEED stories really hits so many of those points. They're really so well made. And the spider's web also hits those points. It puts in the repeated phrase of "come dance with me," "no, my father says," and there's a really good positive message at the end that you have to listen to your mother and father.
Exactly.
These things are okay, but when your mother and father say don't do this, don't do that, you're going to get in trouble.
You have to listen to your parents or you get eaten by a spider, like Mikolos's moral that he took from it.
Goodbye, my friends, goodbye. I'm sad to say goodbye. It was a good day, but now I will say goodbye, my friends, goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.